Our problem now is to simplify this rational expression. 2x squared plus x minus 15 over 4x squared minus 16x plus 15. In order to simplify rational expression, what you want to do is you want to factor the numerator and denominator and then cancel as much as possible. So you want to factor the numerator, you want to factor the denominator, and then once you're done factoring numerator and denominator, you'll cancel as much as possible. Anything that can be canceled, you cancel it. Now, factoring the numerator turns out into 2x and x, and 3 and 5, plus, minus. Factoring out the denominator turns out into 2x, and then minus 5, minus 3. We could check that this is correct. 2x times x, 2x squared. Negative 5 times 3, negative 15. Negative 5x plus 6x, negative 5x plus 6x, x. So the top checks. You can expand the bottom. 2x times 2x, 4x squared. Negative 5 times negative 3, positive 15. And negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. Negative 10x and negative 6x combines into negative 16x. So this part is complete. What we need to do now is cancel as much as possible. What can we cancel? Well, when we look at the top and the bottom, we see that the 2x minus 5's cancel. And nothing else. So there is our simplified result. 1 times x plus 3, which is simply x plus 3 on top. And then 1 times 2x minus 3 on bottom, which is 2x minus 3. One question that the student will ask, that the audience will ask is, okay, so how did you know to factor 2x squared plus x minus 15 into 2x minus 5 times x plus 3? How did you get the factorization of the bottom? 4x squared minus 16x plus 15 to be 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 3. Let's pay attention to that detail. The method that we're displaying, the method that we're going to display here to get that done is known as the grouping method. We're going to factor by grouping. So it goes as follows: ax squared plus bx plus c. First step, you multiply ac, then you refactor it into two factors that combined give you b. Then you split the middle term . Now splitting the middle term means instead of writing bx, write this term times x plus this other term times x, the terms that you obtain from refactoring. Once you do that, this kicks in, that you can group. Now, let's do it with one of the two. I'm choosing the bottom one to apply the method with, but you could also apply the method to the other one. So I'm choosing the bottom one to do the factoring. The top one can be done in a similar fashion. That will be left to the audience. All right, so first step, A times C. In this case is 60, because 4 times 15 is 60. Now, here is the crucial step. I need to refactor 60 into two factors that when combined give you the middle term. Now, I want to factor 60 into two factors that when you combine them, the answer is negative 16. Now, let's try, they both have to be negative. So that much we know, because we want the product to be positive, but at the same time, we want them to add up to a negative number. So we need both to be negative. Now, I could say negative 1 times negative 60, because that gives you 60, but unfortunately that is not a good choice, because negative 1 plus negative 60 is negative 61. That's not what we want. We want negative 16. Maybe we could try a negative 2 and 30, because negative 2 times negative 30 is 60. What's the problem this time? If you're going to add negative 2 and negative 30, you're going to get negative 32. That doesn't work. We want to be able to get the sum of these two to be identically the middle coefficient. So negative 2 and negative 30 do not work. At some point, you're going to run across the right combination. What's the right combination in this case? You will take maybe a couple more steps, but then you'll run across negative 6 times negative 10. Negative 6 times negative 10 is 60. But not only that, negative 6 plus negative 10 is negative 16. Bingo, we've got the correct combination. Now we can move on to the next step, which is splitting the middle term. Here's what that means. We're going to write 4x squared plus 15, but we are no longer writing negative 16x. Instead, we're writing negative 6x minus 10x. Notice that that is negative 16x because of the way our refactoring worked out. So after splitting the middle term, then we go do our factoring by grouping. If you can do this part in splitting the middle term, the rest will follow. Factor by grouping. First group, I can factor out a 2x. I'm left with 2x minus 3. Check, 2x times 2x, 4x squared. 2x times negative 3, negative 6x. Now here we could factor out a 5, but if you just factor out the 5, you get negative 2x plus 3. That's not identical to 2x minus 3. You want to get this identical factor there, you're going to have to drag the negative along. So you factor negative 5, so that becomes plus, that becomes 2x minus 3. Check. Negative 5 times 2x, negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative 3, positive 15. That was the required move to get the common factor. Remember, when you're factoring by grouping, success means getting a common factor. This is success in our case. Okay, so now we're going to pull out the common factor, which is 2x minus 3. What's left when you factor out the 2x minus 3? What's left is 2x minus 5. And that's how you factor the bottom part of our problem. The top part can be done the same way. Again, I'm going to leave that to the reader. I'm going to leave it to the reader. By use grouping to factor the top portion, you will discover that it is 2x minus 5 times x plus 3. That's all.